Hello, Kris Tjornehoj here, and with me I have Jack Swanson and Katherine Henly. They are a married couple who have wonderful careers as singers. And I've got a couple questions for them. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've had the honor to work with them on the Opera on the River in Stillwater, Minnesota. And I have had the honor to watch them sing in various recitals and concerts along the way. And again, it's my honor to host them here at UW River Falls. I'm going to say a number of words. Career, family, health, hobby, marriage, vacation, personal growth, bucket list.
A lot of words.
It's a lot of words. It's a lot of goals.
A lot of
Jack,
good words.
grab one of those and tell me one statement.
Ooh, okay. I don't know why vacation is really sticking in my head right now.
It's okay.
I mean, I guess, can I kind of mix vacation
You
and
can.
bucket list?
You can.
Because, I mean, one thing that's been really fun for us is we get to travel a lot with our jobs. And, most people kind of think of vacation as the escape from their job and their normal life to go somewhere. But since we've known each other, we have gotten to go a lot of places, check a lot of things off our bucket list, add a lot of things to our bucket list in those places. And that's been one of the really cool things. I mean, one way to really get to know your partner who you're with is traveling. And we've been doing that since like day three or day one. I mean, day one I traveled across LA to visit her, but
We got stuck in LA traffic,
yes,
so it truly felt like a journey.
3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of our vacation, is just not that our life is a vacation, because there's a lot of work that goes along with it, but the traveling sense is really fun and adding more and more to our bucket list daily. So
That's really fun. And you've alluded to something that we haven't shared yet, and that's how did you meet?
Well, we met working with LA Opera on their production of Candide. And it's a production that began at the Glimmerglass Festival. It's directed by Francesca Zambello, Lauren Meeker, and Eric Sean Fogel. And I was in the original production in 2015 at the Glimmerglass Festival. So before I knew Jack, I heard that it was going out to LA Opera, and I said, oh, I would love to be a part of that. And on day one, we got to rehearsal, and a friend of mine said, isn't that Jack Swanson really cute? And I said, oh,
you didn't
yeah.
tell me that. Who said that?
Really?
Oh.
And I said, oh, yeah, he is. And then I thought, okay, time to go to work, enough of that. And went about doing my job. And I'm the daughter of a director. My mom is a stage director, a film director, and she taught me very firmly that I was not ever to date anyone I was working with. This is a rule. When I was leaving the house at 17 for my first professional job, she said, if someone asks you out for a drink, you say, I'm here to work. And I did. I parroted it back to everyone I met. So it never crossed my mind that I would date someone I worked with. It was a good rule I'd stood by. So on our first day off, I got a message from one Jack Swanson, and it said, what are you up to? And I said, well, I'm in West LA. I've gone to see an old family friend. And he said, oh, I'm there too. He wasn't. He was in East LA, about an hour and a half away.
LA.
And so he drove all the way out, and we had a Starbucks coffee, and we were chatting about
She told me
life.
she could write it off as a business expense. That was like
I
the
just
second
learned
thing she
about
said.
taxes, and I said, we could just say this is a business meeting. He said, oh, a business meeting. And and we had a great time. We had to dance together in the show, and he was playing the role of Candide, and I was playing the very important, coveted role of sheep number 1. So, irresistible.
She actually was a lot of roles in the thing. She did like the corporal, the sheep, but the sheep was a coveted role.
It was a fun production where we all there was a small ensemble of us that wore a lot of hats on Candide's journey, but the sheep was the one I'm most proud of. Yeah, and so he said, will you go on a date with me? And I said, I I'm so sorry, I'm here to work. I said, I don't take people I'm working with. And he said, okay, well, what about after opening night? And I said, maybe, perhaps, yeah, I guess we could bend the rule. So the day after opening night was a donor event. And of course, they'd invited Jack Swanson, Candide, and Christine Ebersol, who played the old woman of all roles, Kelsey Grammer, who was our Voltaire and Pangloss. And I show up as the date, and the head of the board is introducing everyone, and he said, yes, of course, we have Jack Swanson and Christine Ebersol, and we have sheep number 1, Katherine Henly. And I was like, yes. And that was kind of it. I was kind of a goner, and we've been adventuring ever since.
Very exciting. Very exciting. So you never know where that's going to take you. So I'm going to read the words again. And Katie, it's your turn.
Okay.
Career, family, health, hobby, marriage, vacation, personal growth, bucket list.
I think what's standing out to me is family and marriage. So full disclosure, it's okay to say it now because we did it, but I think I've known since about that first day we hung out and got stuck in LA traffic that I would marry Jack Swanson if he would marry me. And it was just a very calm feeling. I remember telling a girlfriend, and she said, calm down. I said, no, I'm calm. I just think I met the man I'm going to marry. And, we then took off adventuring around the world, and we have a lot of exciting stories from our time together. But during this pandemic and during the COVID shutdown, I think what's really come to the forefront, and I have to say it's one of the things that I fell in love with him about. It's one of the things I'm glad we share. But family is so important to us, and I think in the bustle of life, it sometimes, unfortunately, takes sort of like it stands behind something else, whatever's your high priority, or I have to make it to this plane on time, or, but it's always been a high priority for both of us, but it's really become everything, I think, in this time. My mother sent us cards and vegetables and baskets of fruit to make sure we stayed healthy and kept smiling. Jack's mom made sure we had masks and would check in on us. And, once we were able to kind of open up our quarantine, we'd get to have family dinners, and she'd find ways to be socially distant. And my mom would surprise us with Zoom family dinners with fresh baked pie delivered from Heather's Pies. And it really became like a touchstone for us. So when it came time for us to plan how we would get legally married, it sort of became really clear that the most important thing was that our families be there. We didn't really want to just run off and go to a courthouse alone, because they are so much a part of who we are and how we've come together. So when we did stand on the seaside on Cape Cod, we had just his parents, my parents, a minister and his wife, and it really actually was something really special that we wouldn't have planned that way necessarily, because we would have tried to cram as many of our friends and family as we could have on a farm in upstate New York. But it's meant the world to me, and the fact that they have always been a big part of our lives, but now are so completely intertwined with our marriage and the strength of that means the world to me.
Well, you've had great role models, and that will help your marriage, because, the world is not so simple out there when you think about that as an institution. And we look at all the institutions that are actually crumbling. Family's one of them. And with the challenges of being similar in your career, and then having different degrees of, I don't want to say success because it's not that, different degrees of
well, we
time.
certainly have different incomes, I'll tell you that much.
Okay, well, as it all goes, you have to find that common bond and respect each other through thick and thin.
Yeah.
So I really do wish you all the best, and I love that you embrace family and that you talk about it, because many people don't even want to say that because they want to be so independent and so unique. So I commend you on the background of family. So with that in mind, what does success look like for you as a married couple?
Ooh.
Well, do you have any Elixir of Love productions that are casting? You wanna?
Sure. So success for us. I mean, honestly, right now it's like we've just done 7-8 months, of being quarantined in one place where you don't get so.
been
I
like
mean, the fact that we were like, let's get married after 7 months of that, we're taking as a big success.
Nailed it.
And no, I mean, really, I mean, success, I would say for both of us is that we, at the end of the day, are really happy we have each other through everything that we're going through. I mean, as much as we're talking about, this is really fun and this is really great and our careers are fun and we travel all the time, there's a lot of stuff that's not fun about it. There's a lot of stuff that you miss. There's a lot of stuff that you don't want to just go to, you know, Germany or Norway for 3 months and miss Thanksgiving and Christmas with with family, what we were talking about. And
There's a lot
so,
of time zone math we're used to doing too,
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
have to be apart.
and having the person, you know, that you can talk to about it and who understands and is just the right communicator is really important. And I feel like we both feel like we have that in each other, and that's definitely a success to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and I think, you know, as we build and plan our schedules, I think for us a big success is being able to find the windows where we overlap and find the windows where even if we do have to miss a holiday together or something together, how do we celebrate? How do we get creative and think outside the box? And, you know, luckily Jack's very creative and, you know, he thinks out of the box often, but being able to have a partner who's flexible and who says,
Yep.
okay, so this is what our life looks like this year. This is what our life looks like this month, this week. And how do we embrace it? And how do we find the joy? And how do we, you know, go forward as a unit?
And we are so happy that you are recharging in the St. Croix Valley and that we'll be able to keep these connections alive and make music with you in the future.
Us too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.